We walk on it every single day, but we hardly ever give it a second thought. It's the very foundation of our food, our ecosystems, our entire existence, really. So today, let's dig in and talk about the silent crisis that's happening right under our feet: soil pollution.
Just let that sink in for a minute. 1,000 years, an entire millennium to create just 1 inch of the topsoil that keeps us alive. It really makes you stop and think, especially when you consider just how quickly we can undo all of that incredible work.
So, to really get a grip on the problem, we first have to understand what soil actually is. And let me tell you, it is so much more than just plain old dirt.
Okay, so take a look at this. Healthy soil is this delicate, complex mix. You've got about half of it being mineral matter from broken down rock. But just as important are those big chunks of space for water and air. And that little 5% slice, that's the organic matter. That's the magic ingredient, all the decaying life that gives soil its fertility. It's a living system.
I love this way of thinking about it. It's not some infinite dead thing. It's more like a thin, fragile, living skin, a biological layer that supports almost all life on land. And when that skin gets sick, you better believe the whole planet feels it.
And that brings us right to the heart of the matter. How exactly are we damaging this living foundation? Well, it happens through this sort of creeping, unseen contamination that builds up over time.
In the simplest terms, soil pollution is just the buildup of stuff that shouldn't be there: toxic chemicals, harmful compounds, you name it. It's mostly from us, from human activities, and it completely throws off the soil's natural balance.
A huge source is modern agriculture. You see it here. We have this drive to grow more and more food, which has led to a heavy reliance on things like synthetic pesticides and fertilizers. And sure, they can boost crop yields in the short term, but over time, they can slowly poison the very soil they're meant to help.
And of course, it's not just farms. You can see here, industrial waste and our own everyday trash are massive contributors. If they're not managed the right way, toxic chemicals can just seep out from factories and landfills straight into the ground, poisoning it for years and years to come.
And believe me, the list goes on. We're talking about byproducts from mining, oil spills, acid rain, even radioactive fallout. The threats to our soil are coming from pretty much every corner of modern society.
So why is this such a big deal? Well, because what happens in the soil does not stay in the soil. It kicks off this dangerous ripple effect that can travel all the way from the ground, through the food chain, and right into our own bodies.
Let's just trace the journey of a pollutant, okay? It starts in the soil, then plants and crops soak it up. Then it moves up the food chain as animals eat those plants. But here's the really scary part. It's a process called bioaccumulation. These toxins, they don't just pass through. They build up. They become more and more concentrated at every step. And guess who's often at the very top of that chain? Yeah, we are.
This quote really drives the point home. We're not just talking about getting a stomach bug. We're talking about serious, long-term health problems, things that can affect our very DNA. The health of the soil is, without a doubt, directly connected to our own health.
And it's not just humans who are at risk. The story of the pesticide DDT is a powerful and frankly tragic example. This chemical didn't wash away. It built up in the fatty tissues of animals. It biomagnified so much that the concentration in birds of prey, like eagles, could be millions of times higher than in the water around them. It made their eggshells so fragile they'd break just from the parent sitting on them. It almost wiped out entire species. It's a stark warning of how these poisons echo through an ecosystem.
And in the end, the pollution comes full circle, right back to the land itself. Toxic chemicals kill off all the good little microorganisms that keep soil healthy. That leads to less fertility, more erosion, and eventually just barren land that can't support life.
Okay, so that's all pretty heavy, I know. But, and this is a really big but, it is not the end of the story. The good news is we know what the problem is and we have the knowledge and the tools to start healing our soil and actually turn this tide around.
Just take a look at this comparison. For pretty much every destructive practice, there's a sustainable, smarter alternative. Instead of just dumping chemicals everywhere, we can use integrated farming and natural fertilizers. Instead of tearing up the soil with aggressive tilling, we can practice no-till farming that leaves the soil structure intact. It's all about working with nature, not fighting against it.
And we can get even more clever about it. Check out some of these brilliant techniques. Things like contour farming, where you plant along the slopes to hold water and soil in place. Or planting windbreaks, rows of trees that stop the wind from just blowing away all that precious topsoil. A lot of these are actually ancient methods that work beautifully.
But look, This isn't just a job for farmers. This is on all of us. It's a collective responsibility. It means we have to get serious about reducing our own waste. You know, the 3 Rs. It means demanding that industries treat their waste properly. And it means supporting efforts like reforestation and just educating ourselves and the people around us about why this all matters so much.
You know, the soil beneath us tells a story. It's a record of ancient forests, of civilizations, and of all the choices we've made. So the question we have to ask ourselves now is, what story is it going to tell about us? What kind of foundation are we leaving for the future?